All right. Welcome to another edition of the Hellion Rocks. We've got a very special guest on the phone today, Mr. Robert Sarzo. Robert, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. Hanging out here with family at the Boca Resort here at the beach club, and just really enjoying, being here. We had a really great leg of a tour in June with Queensryche, and this year now visiting family. Very excited that the record's out, my new record.
Yeah, After the Storm. I got it when it came out. I was paying attention, and I haven't stopped listening to it since. It's a wonderful
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that record, actually, I wrote it and produced it and put everything together and about 22 years ago.
Wow.
And it was all recorded in analog, recording tape, real tape, and all the editing was done in analog, and Garth Richardson mixed it for me. And I met Garth Richardson when I did Over the Edge record with Bob Ezrin, which produced our record, Hurricane. And Garth and I really worked a lot together. And I played him the track. He says, yeah, we'll love to mix it. So he did a great job. Love what he did with it.
Yeah, I can tell that it's analog because it's got that warm feel to it. It's got that vintage warm style I really enjoyed listening to.
Yeah, it was done really old school way with the tape, which is kind of interesting because a lot of people are now going back to that sound. At home, I play vinyl all the time. I have a really nice vinyl system, and I like to listen to my records on vinyl because you hear that mid-range, and it fluctuates. If you listen to vinyl and you put it through a scope, you can see how it's got waves. Digital is just flat, it's numbers, which digital is great too. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different sound.
I grew up listening to the old warm analog sound, and I'm kind of partial to that, so I can definitely hear it. And just the quality and the whole vibe of the record is enjoyable to listen to.
Thank you. I had a percussionist also playing there, so it's got a lot of the Miami, Caribbean, Afro-Cuban sonic and flavor to it. It's something that I grew up, in Miami, and just always being a big fan of classical music and heavy metal and just the darkness of just music sonically. That I was always a big fan of Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and Black Sabbath, and so I kind of just put my heart into it and what my playlists were into writing. And at the time I was working with Rudy Rose, a great singer from New York, which is also half Cuban. So I had already done seminars and clinics for crate amplifiers in Mexico when I was in Hurricane. And when I came back from about almost a 2-week run of doing seminars all over Mexico, I came up with the idea of doing rock en español as well. So that record was supposed to have been released on Capitol EMI Enigma Records after Hurricane, and Enigma closed down. So I was left with a master, and I've had it in my vault ever since. And Gary McGrath, the owner of the 4818 record company, asked me if I wanted to do a record. I said, sure, listen to this. And so he jumped on. He said, let's release this one first. So I've already started writing for another one.
Very cool. Are you going to just use studio musicians again, or do you plan on bringing in anybody with big names to that new record?
Well, I'm going to be using friends this time, maybe even guest singers. It's all about, when you do a solo record, it's about other things that you can release it sometimes as a band. And I'm going to be using just all different players, different kind of players. Maybe even record some of the tracks here in Miami and some in LA and maybe some in Seattle and, all over the place. That's the beauty about now, when you record, you can do it anywhere. And just put together a whole collection of just different music, but it's definitely going to have the theme to it. The concept is going to be very Afro religion, and that was my original concept. That's why it starts with war dance, and that's why the CD starts with the whole Caribbean. Those are actual real talking drums, and that's a whole ritual that people practice in the Caribbean and Africa from the Lukumi religion, and those are talking drums, so that's how they communicate. So I'm just talking about different flavors of what's actually going on around the world that people are afraid to talk about or just don't want to know about.
Right.
But it does exist, and it's just,
I like that organic flow.
I love it, and that's one thing when you listen to music. Every song has some kind of a pattern of rhythm, and if you actually analyze it and you break it down scientifically, and you read the beats per minute, certain music and tones make you want to do certain things, like dance or just relax or get really intense. So music and talking drums really correlate as to it's a way of communicating to the universe in any country, in any situation. It's all talking. Music just makes people feel differently. So that's going to be more the theme with the lyrics of just what's going on in the world. But it's more about religion and good times and positive. It's got a positive, message to it.
Awesome. I believe that too. But we're talking about your new record. Let's play a track from it. What track do you want to play and talk about?
I'd like to open up with Innocent Girl. I love that track, Innocent Girl.
Okay, we're going to play Innocent Girl, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
It's been an hour since 9. She checked her makeup by the vanity, then changed her clothing 10 times and fed the kitten where could daddy be. I can show you your life. Let me sing you your life. I can show you your life and time. See the world right through your eyes. I can show you a world you want. Innocent girl one time. Yeah, there
All right, that was Innocent Girl. And tell us about that song, why it means a lot to you.
Well, that song, when Rudy and I, we worked on the lyrics, it's about a young lady, could be any young lady, that actually wants to be loved and wants to be, cared for. And it's just, that's all it is, just about a person. And many people go through that in life, I'm sure, man or woman. I've gone through that situation. Everybody likes to share love and passion with other people. So that's basically what it's about. And it's based also in New York City. So it kind of takes you back then,
Right. And I like the fact that you included the Spanish versions of those songs on the record as well. That it gives some cool meaning to it. And I speak Spanish as well, so it just means a lot to my heart.
Thank you.
Now, I want to talk about your guitar playing. How did you learn to play? Did you have formal lessons? Or did you just naturally develop that skill?
Which skill is that? Which skill is that?
I want to know how you developed your playing style. Did you have lessons? Did you just develop it on your own? How did you come to playing music?
Well, it probably started at a very young age, being born in Cuba. And we left there during the revolution. We left in 1961, and I was exposed to what was in our environment, which was salsa music, classical. My uncle was a classical opera singer and pianist, and I was raised loving the passion of classical music, as well to listening to salsa music. My playing really is so diverse, James, that I have loved jazz music, classical, Indian music, Moroccan, heavy metal, you name it. And I've even played country music in Florida. When I grew up, in school, I was going to high school, and even before high school, I was playing in nightclubs at 14 and a half. I was able to do that. And we will be playing till 4 o'clock in the morning. So, that's a lot of repertoire of music that you have to be playing. And I've even used to play in school tuba. I picked up the flute because at the time Jeff Rotel was very popular when, I was playing in the club. So I would play the flute just to, just give it another flavor. And I just told myself, just picked it up, we didn't have Google then, it was in the 70s. So I just played by ear. And then music, I studied, guitar and taken classical lessons off and on. And I just, I've learned so many different styles of music just to make a living playing in the clubs, and play a lot of blues in Florida, which is where I'm at right now visiting. Played a lot of heavy metal, fusion, stuff like progressive rock, stuff like Mahavishnu Orchestra, King Crimson. I have played styles like Pink Floyd, you name it, blues, country, funk music, disco. So I think what happens is, for a player that has been so diverse, that you can actually, when you create something new, it's going to sound different because you already have stepped outside the box. A lot of the players nowadays, great players, but they only know how to play one style. And when they're trying to create something, it's going to sound like only one style, one person. And, if you have, which I'm sure you have, read about Jimmy Page, he was so diverse. He listened to all kinds of different music, and that's how he came up with Kashmir, all the different flavors. He's had all the Spanish flavors, and, Stairway to Heaven is kind of like a Spanish lullaby, and Over the Edge, and he's listened to country. You can tell. He's, because he traveled so much while he was playing back in the day before Zeppelin was really huge, and doing studio work, playing different styles of music, that he was able to create his own style like that, in that way. So, Page has always been my idol. It's been my mentor. I love Jimmy Page. I think most of us do too.
Yeah, and that is one of the things exactly that I did like about Led Zeppelin, was that their diversity. And I've noticed that in your playing too, that, you don't just, you can feel the elements and hear the elements from different, like you said, different genres in your playing style. And I really like that. And I really think more people should get involved in learning about that. And I just recently saw you guys play, I saw you play with Queensryche, and you gave those songs a good flair. That, they were Queensryche songs, but they had your flair style of playing.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it as Queensryche as possible, but, we're all human. And, you always end up, because we're not machines, we end up putting our own little flavor with that. And working with Jeff Tate, he encourages that. He's wonderful to work with. I love working with him and hanging out with him. And he gives you your own space. He lets you be yourself, And I love playing with Queensryche. Really do.
It was a good fit. It was a great show, and your showmanship as well. You don't just stand up there and play guitar. You've got stage presence that people are looking for. You've got that flash. You've got that flair, and that's the kind of things that people go to a show to look for.
Thank you. Just going to many concerts when I was growing up in my youth, and I always felt, and I tried to really zoom into the music. It's all about the music, and you got to feel. To be honest with what you're doing, you got to feel what you're playing sonically. And I hate to keep using that word, but sonic is all vibrations and waves, and I'm a fan of the songs that I have been playing with Mindcrime, and I love what the old Queensryche created, and it's just a lot of fun to play with, those songs. But then again, you end up playing, your own, a little bit, your own, vibe and your own style, because you're playing from your heart. I don't want to play from my head. I want to play from what I'm feeling in the song and the lyrics of what the song is about. But I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it was very awesome. It was very good to meet you afterwards, too. You and your brother both have been major influences in my life and my musical history.
Thank you.
I've always kind of stayed in the know with what you guys were doing.
It's really a blessing. My brother and I grew up playing together. And I ended up staying in New York City when we left Florida, because, you just had to leave an environment that doesn't really support the kind of music that it's in the area. And it happened. Before it was very rock, and then when disco came in, forget about it. It was just disco. Everybody wanted to hear disco. So, but I'm trying to say it's been great to nationally be able to play with my brother, it's like coming back home. We think so alike, and we have the same roots of music. And it was so natural just playing the songs with Rudy. And that was really kind of cool. It's been great.
Yeah, it was exciting to when I saw that you were playing with them and then you were coming and it was Rudy with you. It was exciting to see both Sarzo brothers in one show. That's amazing. And a lot of people were talking about that too, that they were going to, go see, we're going to go see Rudy and Robert together. It's amazing. So your new record that you were talking about putting out, are we going to see that this year, or is it something that's going to happen next year, or it's going to take a little bit of time?
It's going to take a little time. I've got a lot of things already that I have written, but I'm also going to be working in writing. I've already talked with Jeff Tate with the new album. So it's really a different style of music. So I got ideas already that I'm going to be putting together with him. So probably more like last year, because I don't like to rush things. And also because I'm going to be producing it, I want to be able to really just write. What I do is I write everything at home, all the parts, all the bass tracks, even drum patterns. And then I bring it in, then I do the whole pre-production with the whole band and get it really tight, and then go into the studio and record.
Nice.
That's old school style.
We've been talking with Robert.
That's old school style.
We're talking with Robert. Yeah. We're talking with Robert Sarzo, outstanding guitarist. He's got a brand new record out called After the Storm. I recommend you pick this album up. It will not disappoint you. There's a lot for everybody on there. It's just a great rock and roll record. Blues bass, hard, heavy rock, Latin. It's got a lot of influences. You can feel the heart and influence that Robert had while making this record. I recommend you pick it up. Anything else you got to say, Robert?
No, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and it was nice meeting you at the show. And looking forward to seeing you again very soon. We're heading back out again on tour in August.
Oh, beautiful. We'll be there. Robert, I thank you so much. Stay in touch and let me know anything we can do to help you promote the record or promote anything you're doing. You know how to get a hold of me, and we're behind you 100%.
I'll be totally in touch with you. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Robert.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.